What's today? Southern Saturday. You already know we at work decided to hop on top of it with individuals. See what's the talk of the town is going down. The word in the curve. You heard me. Here in Southern California, it is a beautiful day. I mean, it's cloudy, but it's a nice day. You know, it's not too hot, so it's lovely. Let me just set this up. You know, beautiful day to be enjoying yourself. Just make sure to be aware of your surroundings when you're out there, because it does get dangerous. You know, on the weekend it does tend to pop off. Oh, what's cracking? This fool, what's good, my boy? Hey, I was checking out cricket yesterday. You piqued my curiosity. I went to go scope it out. You know, so I watched some games. Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of like baseball, sort of. I was like, all right, cool. It's my first time hearing about it. It wasn't the one that I was thinking about. The one I was thinking about was lacrosse. I got it confused with that. I thought that's maybe what you meant. No, but that was my first time seeing that one. I was like, oh shit. And then I bumped into another sport, right, that I found too. And that one's more extreme than any other one. I was like, what the hell? But it involves like a stick and a ball too. It's more kind of like handball, sort of, but you know, it's like a stick that's like a hook, and you launch it, and it hits the wall, and then it comes back. You're supposed to catch it with your thing. I was like, oh shit. That was my first time hearing about that sport too. Yeah, but cricket. I scoped out some cricket games. I was like, all right, cool. The only part of that I don't understand is the running back and forth though. Like how exactly does that work, right? You know, because I don't know, probably but more because I was looking at it from the baseball sense of things, right? Because you know when it goes like over the circle thing, I was like, oh, isn't that like a home run? But I go, wait, but there's no basis for them to go like that because they just go like that. So it's just like, it's like this. It could just like be an infinite amount like that, or I tried a new Indian that was next to the grocery store. I shop. Hey, was it good or what? Yeah, but it was cool though. I did it. I was enjoying it. It was like watching a baseball game. So I was like, all right, cool. You know, that one was dope. Kind of like, you know, even when I first found rugby, I thought rugby was pretty dope. The only sucks is that it only sucks that, you know, that they don't, how can I say, like, I don't get like as much like notification for those types of sports. Like I said, I'm a sports junkie. I love sports. What's cracking like Mr. Pasa's definitely up in the casa. Oh, hello there, Batman God. Um, Mr. Pasa is definitely up in the casa. Excuse me. There's an international cricket which is between countries: India, Pakistan, England, Australia, South Africa. In between teams in Dallas, LA, Florida. What? LA? Oh shit. My first time hearing about that. Okay, so I thought more countries would have been involved. Okay, so it's only okay. Australia, England, Pakistan. I wonder why more Middle Eastern countries ain't involved in the mix. I mean, if you had Pakistan in there, I would have figured that you would have, you know, maybe some of the other ones join in too. But probably because of like tensions, maybe that's probably why they. No, because that's not true. Because India and Pakistan. Because you know sometimes political views do get in the mix of sports. You know, kind of like you know the Olympics. You know, at some point, right? With the you know the Russians chose to you know not involve themselves, right? Because the drama. You know, and several other countries, right, that choose not to participate because of the political differences. When it's like it's sports, bro, leave all that bullshit to the side. But there's some people that are like, Charles. Have you ever been to the Whittier? I'm not sure. Probably. Lad, I'm from Belfast in Ireland. Why does it seem ISIS after Latinos, but don't go after? It? No, they're targeting different ethnicities. It's not just Latinos, right? I think you hear more about like Latinos than maybe some of the other ethnic groups, right? But only because of the fact of how they're the closest ones to the border, right? So that's why you hear more. Obviously, there's going to be more of them, and you know, hear more about that, right? Because they make more of the numbers in the minority group. No, but they be doing it to like Armenians, um, Middle Easterns. I seen them round up Asians, a lot of Asians actually, Jamaicans, Canadians, Russians. So they're taking a whole lot of people. It's not just like Mexicans. About like maybe like 3 weeks ago, I seen them taking some. I don't know what they were, but they were like Middle Eastern, because their wives had the hijab. Or, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, right? But you know, in my mom's opinion, we got ripped off at the restaurant. Why, it was expensive or what? It was expensive and not good. Hey, because sometimes that happens, bro. I go to places and I feel like, like I remember when I first went to Applebee's, bro. I was like, what the fuck? A skimpy ass meal they gave me. That shit was whack too, and it was expensive. But other people have gone and they have liked the experience. I didn't like it. Look at the Major League Cricket. All right. Yeah, it was interesting though. I was like, okay, I had gotten confused because there's croquet, cricket, lacrosse. They all sound similar, sort of. Shit, there's even something called pickleball. I didn't even know about pickleball. I was like, pickleball? What the fuck? Which is kind of like tennis, sort of. It's tennis. It's kind of like tennis. Nah, who are we kidding? That's just tennis, bro. It's more. Just play cricket. Oh, okay. Some. All right. All right. All right. All right. Um, but actually, most Middle Eastern countries, non-cricket is mostly soccer. England, New Zealand. All right. All right. That's cool. That's cool. I mean, Africa's a big continent in itself, right? So, there's probably like all kinds of people up in there, all kinds of different, countries that probably, join in. Because I think, isn't Africa the largest continent, or is it no? They got a big, landmass. And yes, it's a continent, not a fucking country. I hate when people say that. Like, what? Like, what do you mean, bro? Like, Africa? Like, yeah, but which country in Africa, though? Like, well, wasn't Africa a country? No! you know? They have, like, Sudan and, like, fucking Morocco and all kinds of different, you know what I mean? Shit. It's all kinds of different goofballs. India and Pakistan, Afghanistan. I love cricket, but in English. Same as Australia. Yeah, I would figure, Australia and New Zealand would be like in the boat, right? Because, well, I mean, they're the closest to each other's, considering the rest of the world. Nah, but no lie. Every time I look at New Zealand, that shit does look nice, though. Out of all the places in the world, it probably looks the nicest. I would picture it being like crime free, no graffiti, no homeless people, like just meadows of grass and fucking waterfalls. That's how I picture when I hear New Zealand. That's what I'm picturing in my head. compared to like when people are talking about like, oh yeah, I'm from Los Angeles, you think about gunshots and fucking gangs and graffiti and drive-bys and grenades. Nah. Do you have a favorite park or public? Oh my boy, my neighborhood and the Hart Street Park, right? That's my favorite park, the Hart Street Park, which is a park in my neighborhood. But nah, but like outside of those areas, right? My next favorite probably spot would probably be like the Santa Fe Dam, right? But if I could pick any park, I would pick the park in my neighborhood. It's where I feel like it's where it feels like home to me. I mean, it is home. I don't know. There's this feeling that I get when I'm in my area, right, in my neighborhood, in the park, right. That's just like I get that. I don't get that feeling from anywhere else. Like it's, and I'm not trying to like sound, with all that bullshit, right. I'm being genuine. Like there's a feeling that I have that I just don't get any feeling like that anywhere else. Call it dumb or stupid, whatever. But I mean, it's the truth. I get what people's, from their perspective, right? But they just don't understand the emotions, right? Like there's actual real emotions, right? Cricket sucks ass. Really? You don't like it? There's some sports that people are not gonna like, right? I'm not too much of a fan of like hockey, right? I'll watch it, but I'm like, that's probably like my least favorite one, right? And there's a lot of people that love hockey or golf. I can't stand golf. That's probably the only sport I can't really stand, right? But a lot of people like golf. But see, I like to play golf, not real golf, like miniature golf, right? But I just can't do golf. It's a lot of waiting going on. People got to be quiet, and yeah, it's long, and we ain't trying to do all that. Like, where's the excitement up in this bitch? That's why my favorite sport is basketball, nonstop, you know, back and forth. I mean, football's cool too, right? But it takes a little bit more longer to score a point, right? Sometimes they don't even score. But with basketball, you constantly have the points racking up, right? So it makes it more exciting for me, my personal opinion. No sport could come close to basketball for me. Basketball just number one, of all time. Not nice. Oh, your family. Well, everyone working. Well, hey, likewise. In the UK and Ireland, there are people coming who don't want to work and take government money and government do it. Like you mean like illegals? But that's everywhere though, not just in the UK, but that's everywhere. Everywhere you're always gonna have immigration problem. But here's the thing though, and this is I find this mind blowing, right? That all of the world leaders can't really sit down and fix the problem when it comes to immigration because every country has that problem, right? But what creates the problem of the immigration problem, right? These countries who their people feel like they're being mistreated and corrupted, and you know what I mean, like they're pretty much their government, who's running their government, are assholes, right? So instead of taking the time to actually help those countries fix their economies and their governments, right, they try to do all this other shit and it never works, right? Because if you fix their governments or stabilize their government and economy, right, their people won't want to flee their countries, right? Like if I have a nice if other countries were like America, right? Then people are not leaving America, right? They're not fleeing America, right? So if other countries were like America, meaning in the sense of stable government, even though it has its problems, but it's still nonetheless pretty well. Um, then you wouldn't have people wanting to leave their countries, right? Everything would be all gravy. And if they don't want to leave your countries, then you don't have an immigration problem no more, right? But as long as you have these countries that are being ruled by these dictators and assholes and fascists and fucking assholes, you're gonna have this problem, you know. And as long as you constantly have warfare, you're gonna have this problem, right? because the Middle East and Europe has, when it comes to warfare shit, it's like if the wars never end over there, bro. They never end. It's like they're constantly always fighting, and over the most stupidest reasons too, bro. I find it more mind blowing that people kill and go to war in the name of like God, like and religion. Like what? Like how are you motherfuckers gonna be preaching this shit and true believers of this shit and then go out there and be killing, bro? That's just it's like you guys are fucking hypocrites, bro. No offense, but it is. That's why I feel like religion is just a fucking tool that people use at their convenience because, you know, it just doesn't make any sense to me when people try to apply their views, right? But then they have so much hatred in their heart or fucking want to hurt others, right? It's crazy. And it's like what? And these are the very people that are that fucking put their swear on the Bibles and shit like that, or Quran or whatever people but it's insane. Pakistan is more South Asia, like India is South Asia country. I love cricket. Pakistan, Middle East, and popular Asians who live there. All right, all right. Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that it would be like that, considering the fact that they share borders with China. There's a thing in England on top of the high hill, and people run down the hill after cheese. What the hell, really? The Major League Cricket tournament just ended 2 weeks ago. The teams, New York, won the what the hell, really? That's crazy. You never hear about, and I do watch the news, right, when they have the sports, whatever. You never hear about sports like that. You always hear about the same ones, soccer, hockey, baseball, football, basketball. That's it. Maybe here once in a while you'll get a volleyball, maybe tennis, maybe, right? Maybe some golf, maybe some NASCAR, but not really. NASCAR, I don't understand NASCAR at all, at all. I try to watch it, right? I just don't get it. I was just like, I don't understand what the fuck. NASCAR is probably like the one sport that I don't get it for shit. And people have tried to explain it, and I'm just like, yeah, it just didn't pique my curiosity like that, right? It just went into too much shit that was irrelevant, and I was just like, ah. Like, so pretty much the people with the fattest wallets, like, no, because they put regulations and like, what? What up, G? Saludos. Hey, likewise, carnal. Would you say that Russian is an Asian country? Well, Russia could be considered either European or Russian. I mean, Russian. European or Asian. So, they're borderline. So, because they also have a big population of Asians as well. So, right. So, some people consider themselves Asian. Some people consider themselves Europeans. That's, live in Russia. So. But it's not the only problem that is like that, right? Well, the only places that's like that. I mean, you have people that are Americans that are born here in America, Americans, but they say they're Mexicans. Like, I'm Mexican. Oh, you were born in Mexico? No, I was born here. Oh, so you're American. No, well, my family's from Mexico. Oh, yeah, but you're still American, though. Mexican American. And like I said, the only reason the term Mexican American exists is because these individuals refuse to recognize you as an American, right? You're not American. You don't look American. Like, well, I'm not Mexican. I wasn't born over there. I have a Mexican birth certificate, right? But that's why you're considered Mexican American, because they don't consider you American. When people be like, wow, that fucking term, why do people use that term? That's the term that they fucking gave us, bro. That's a term that's used, right? See, when you fill out any fucking documents or whatever it says right there, you know, right? And then, like I said, if you're bumped into, if you go to a place, where there's mostly white folks and they look at you, you say you're American, they're not gonna believe you, or they're gonna say, no, you're not. And I know this because I have gotten that a lot. You know, people think I'm not American, or they think I don't. One of the ones that I get the most is they don't think I speak English. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, you speak English? Yes, motherfucker. I was born here. So were my parents. Goofball. you know. So that's what I'm saying. That these people are like, as a matter of fact, there was one video I was watching right where they're debating, and that the individual was saying that, well, all these illegals trying to come, take over their country, meaning America, right? But he has the right to say something because he is a true American. He's been rooted here. His ancestry can be traced back to to the beginning. Oh, so you're from immigrants too? Like, oh, yeah. Well, there's no such thing as an American. You're not Native American, right? You're not a native, right? You're not an indigenous. So your ancestors came from Europe. They were Europeans, bro. Like, you fucking idiot. Americans is the fucking Native Americans, the indigenous. That's who was American. You're European, my boy. Like, the fact that some people think the founding fathers were like, they were fucking Europeans, bro. I'm starting to think, like, if, like, in some of these red states, though, like, fuck, bro, do people go to school or what the fuck? It's crazy. Or they just don't pay attention or what the fuck? Because the level of ignorance is crazy, bro. Not even here in like the ghettos in fucking Los Angeles do you get people who are that clueless, or gullible. Maybe that's why, right? Because it's a little bit more. I mean, you gotta have a sharp mind to survive, right? Because if not, you'll get taken advantage of. Maybe that's why people are more aware and shit like that, right? Than other places. I don't know, but it's like some of the shit that people don't know or people believe, right? I'm just like the earth being flat, right? I'm just like, oh God, dude, what is going on? To the point where I'm like, nah, they gotta be trolling. Nah, they're just fucking around, though. They can't be serious. They really cannot be serious. I refuse to believe that people are that fucking, delusional and uneducated. This is also cricket games. There's some Sureño gangs in places like New Zealand and Australia. I believe it. Yeah, this is true. Even in Syria. And I know this because I have a homie who was deported over there, right? And there were several of them that got deported over there, and they recruited individuals over there and grew in numbers, right? And I still communicate with the individual, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. And they go at it with like other gang because there's gangs over there on that area, right? Um, but that are not like from over here. They're gangs, brought up from their countries, and they just clash with them. And it's like, face it. Pepe. Do you like MacArthur Park? I mean, it's like whatever. I mean, MacArthur Park is not maybe because it's an area that is like full of like it's well known, right? Because it gets a lot of maybe movie praise and stuff like that. But it's just like any other park. I mean, it's big, right? But there's not like how can I say? There's no magic to it. My favorite park is Pasadena, Victoria Park. Órale. What part of Mexico is this? What part of Mexico? What do you mean? What are your thoughts on people who say they enjoy prison? Some YouTubers say that they enjoy prison. Shit, maybe those who are like fucking antisocial. I think that they're full of shit and they're just saying that just to fucking make themselves look cool and tough and all that. But it's just so stupid. It's not even funny. No homie wants to be incarcerated. But I do believe that people would say that, right? Just to, seem, I don't know. To be honest, because there's nothing gangster about that either, though. So it's just, maybe they think that gives them some type of street cred points. But it just shows how stupid they are. Like, you would think that you would want to be out here putting in work for that neighborhood you love, right? Instead of being in there. What's good, Shadow? What's cracking, Lecking? Derek's definitely up in the building. That's right. What are your thoughts on people who go around bragging about how many women they slept with? Like, people are going to raise them for. Yeah, that's crazy though, bro. That there's individuals that really need that praise, right? Or even worse is people that have actually care for that information, right? Like, to be honest, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to hear about you boning somebody else, bro. I just don't want to hear that kind of shit. Like, I don't want to hear about who you were fucking and shit like that. I ain't trying to hear none of that. You know, like, hey, that's cool, bro. But I ain't caring for shit like that. You know what I mean? I don't understand why people would care for shit like that. Like, I ain't trying to hear that. You know, as long as if I'm doing the fucking, yeah, but come on now. Hey, I fucked her. Okay, and what are you telling me for? You know, fuck. I mean, really, because I don't understand. Like, why? Okay, why are you telling me this? Like, what are you looking to get in return? Is it praise? And if it is, why? Right? And why do you care for that? And why do you need that? That's the more interesting part about it, right? Like, why'd you care to share that information with me, though? Like, what were you looking to gain back in return? Like, some, like, props? And if it is, why would you care for that and why do you need that? You know what I mean? Because then there's insecurity issues going on then. Like, well, hey, we need to get to the bottom of that problem, right? Because there's a reason for it that you need that. So you go around sleeping with women and fuck up your relationships and all that in order for you to impress a man and want the attention of the man and the respect of the man. Like, that is mind-blowing, bro. And that's manly? So you're gonna fuck up your relationship with a female in order to get the attention and the praise of the man. Huh. But if I say stuff like that, that's like, fool, stop being gay. Like, no. You stop being gay, right? Let's get that shit straight. I ain't trying to hear a story about another man boning, bro. I'm just not. I don't care to know that kind of stuff. Like, oh, this fool is man. Like, oh, I'm not the real man? Like, my friend. Huh. Then you need to get your shit together, bro. Seriously. Seriously, get it together, bro. Get it together, because this is ridiculous. But, PC. Who's that drop on PC? Reminds me of, or some. His family came from instead of he was born. I be chilling in MacArthur Park from time to time. Still have work. Out there. Serio. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my lunch break is over. We gotta get back to it. And I really don't want to because I'm fucking feeling kind of lazy. Hey, good job to get up with you guys and we out.